We can use the Consumer Price Index to calculate the inflation rate. So if we have the CPI data, we can use that to see what's going on with inflation. So we have this table here that gives the CPI. And the way to calculate the inflation rate is we want to take the CPI from the current year minus the CPI from the prior year, divide all that by the CPI from the prior year, and then multiply that by 100. So using this data from the table here, we have the CPI in year 1 is 100, year 2 is 115.9, and year 3 at 130.7. So down here, obviously we can't calculate it if we don't have a prior year. So for year 2, going from 100 to 115.9, we're going to take the 115.9 minus 100, the CPI from the prior year, divide by the CPI from the prior year, which is 100, multiply that by 100, and we would get 15.9%. So the inflation rate would be 15.9%. So if we go from year 2 to year 3, we go from 115.9 to 130.1 as our CPI. So we're going to take 130.7, sorry, typo, minus 115.9, divide by 115.9, multiply by 100, and we would get 12.8%. So we just, again, take CPI current year minus CPI prior year, divide by CPI then prior year, multiply it by 100 to calculate the inflation rate. So also, we can use this data to figure out what's going on with what we consider our real wage. And our real wage is very important because it tells us how much we can buy with our nominal wage. So let's say I make $1 million this year. That sounds really great unless a pizza costs $100,000. So we really don't care what our nominal wage is, what our paycheck says. We just care how much that paycheck can buy. So we can calculate the real wage, which will tell us if our purchasing power has increased or not. So let's say in year 2000, my average nominal wage was 50, or the average nominal wage was 50,000. If the CPI in 2000 was 97.2, we would take our nominal wage, the 50,000, divide by the CPI, multiply that by 100, and the average real wage would be $51,440.33. If we go to 210 and our wage went up to 57,850, that sounds great. We're making $7,850 more. But the CPI increased as well. So we take the 57,850, divide by the CPI, and our average real wage went to $56,110. So the real wage actually went up. But if we jump up to 2020, we can see again our average nominal wage goes up. But when we divide that by the new CPI, we're going to see $55,077.45, which is less than in 2010. So in this example, our real wage actually went down. Our money will buy fewer goods and services than it did in the prior decade. So it's important for us to understand not only our nominal wage, but our real wage as well.